Life is unpredictable, but preparing for the unexpected shouldn't be. Take ownership of your life planning with Policy Genius to help your loved ones have a financial safety net in case something happens to you. They offer life insurance policies starting at just $276 a year for $1 million in coverage. Don't wait for life to make other plans. Protect your family today. Head to PolicyGenius.com. That's PolicyGenius.com.
Doors closing.
Morning. Missed it by 10 seconds. The woman across from me just tried to convince everyone she's a ghost.
A ghost?
Yep. Claims she died in 1997. Said the city just hasn't processed the paperwork yet.
Where is she now?
She's right over there, trying to float through a pole.
Well, that one's clearly protected by some kind of anti-ghost spell. Clever CTA engineers.
She's wearing Crocs.
They're not just Crocs. They're ghost Crocs.
I don't mean to alarm you, but one of you is already dead. You just haven't realized it yet.
Well, that's comforting. You have a name, Casper?
Call me Aurora. I'm here to warn you of great disruption in your soul paths. Also, if anyone has gum, I'd love a piece.
She's definitely chewing something already.
This is ghost gum. Spectral spearmint, very rare.
So, ghosts, gum, soul paths.
Typical Tuesday.
You ever feel like we're the weird ones for thinking this is weird?
Constantly.
This is Tales from the Blue Line, my auditory anthology.
Anyway, speaking of things that can't be explained, I've got a story this morning. It's about a dog, a real one.
Is this story going to make me cry?
Only if you have a heart.
So, yes then.
Lisa Montoya didn't expect to spend her Tuesday night crouched behind a bush outside a nursing home. She was a features reporter for a TV station in Milwaukee, good at soft focus lighting and the kind of human interest stories that didn't rattle advertisers. Her day had started with a segment about pumpkin spice dog biscuits and was supposed to end with a 2-minute piece on Midnight, the stray dog who kept showing up outside the Garden Hill Living Center every night just before midnight. It was the kind of story you'd toss to the anchor before the weather. Look at this sweet little guy, with soft piano music under the B-roll. But the dog wasn't cooperating. Lisa's cameraman had bailed after their 5-hour stakeout had yielded nothing. So she waited alone, grumbling into her scarf, sipping a rapidly cooling coffee, watching the sidewalk in front of the building like it was a crime scene. Just before 11:57 p.m., Midnight arrived. He didn't bark, didn't trot, just appeared. A shaggy black mutt with calm eyes and the wear of old age in every joint. He made no sound, no spectacle. He simply sat outside the east wing of the building, always the east wing, and stared at one window in particular. Lisa took out her phone, snapped a photo. The dog didn't even blink. The next morning, back in the newsroom, Lisa tried to pitch the segment as a quirky local mystery. Her news director rolled his eyes. "It's just a dog. Finish it by Thursday." But something gnawed at her. Why that wing? Why that window? So Lisa did what all good reporters do when they are bored and annoyed. She went back. She talked to the nurses, the cleaning staff, the night security guy. No one knew where the dog came from, but everyone had a name for him – Midnight, and a theory. "Probably belonged to someone here," one nurse guessed. "Just likes the warmth from the building," said a janitor. But then a resident named Miss Klein had something Lisa couldn't shake. "Oh, Midnight, he only comes when someone's about to go." Lisa laughed, thinking it was a joke. Miss Klein didn't laugh back. Lisa Montoya arrived at the scene of the fire just after dawn. The 2-story bungalow had been reduced to a smoldering skeleton. Fire crews were still working to douse the final hotspots, their faces tired and soot-streaked. Lisa did a few quick stand-ups for the morning news, sticking to the basics. No known casualties, fire under investigation, neighbors shaken. but it was the dog that kept pulling her attention. A black Labrador mix, maybe 10 years old, sat just beyond the caution tape. Singed fur, eyes sharp, tongue hanging lazily. He wasn't barking or whimpering, just watching. One of the firefighters, a woman with a streak of white in her hair and the posture of someone who had seen everything twice, pointed him out. "He's been there since we got here," she said. "Showed up before we did, actually. Just sat down like he was waiting for someone." Lisa, intrigued, crouched near the tape. "No color?" "Nope," the firefighter said. "Tried to get him to move. He just stared at the house." It wasn't much of a story, but something about the dog's stillness felt strange. Lisa took a quick photo and made a note in her pad, just in case. Later that day, when Lisa returned to the station, she pulled the footage from their camera operator. The house was still smoking, the firefighters still moving in and out, but in each wide shot there was the dog, like a punctuation mark that refused to move. She asked around. No one in the neighborhood recognized him. No one claimed him. And yet the next day, when she returned to film a follow-up, there he was again, still watching the ruins, still waiting. It wasn't until the third day, when the fire department officially ruled the fire suspicious and the police got involved, that the story truly began. Because that morning, the dog was gone. But the police? They found something buried in the rubble. And Lisa had the oddest feeling it had something to do with the dog. Lisa sat in her car in the Garden Hill parking lot. Same lot, different week, scrolling through the photos she had taken of the dog, midnight. She hadn't seen him since the fire, and she didn't expect to, but she couldn't stop thinking about him. Not just the fire scene. He had been present at 3 other stories she'd covered that month, always at the periphery, always just before something went wrong. First was the hit-and-run on North Avenue. Lisa arrived just after the ambulance pulled away. Midnight sat 3 doors down, unmoving, watching the windshield glass glitter in the streetlight. Then the chemical spill at the old factory site. He was there too, curled up beneath the no trespassing sign, like he'd been waiting for someone to notice. She'd thought it was coincidence. But now she wasn't so sure. Lisa pulled out a whiteboard in her tiny apartment that night and scribbled out the events, dates, times, addresses. She drew a circle around each one, marked an X on the map of Milwaukee. When she connected them, the points almost formed a crescent. Almost. There was one gap, one section of the curve left blank. She zoomed in. Garden Hill sat right in that space. Back at the station, she asked the tech team to pull archived police and fire scanner logs for the last 60 days. "Looking for something specific?" one of the interns asked. Lisa hesitated. "A pattern?" She didn't mention the dog. Not yet. But then came the phone call. A woman named Teresa from Garden Hill. She said she'd seen Midnight again, this time inside the building. No one had let him in, but he'd walked calmly into the hospice wing, paused at the foot of a patient's bed, and laid down. "That man passed away that night," Teresa said, "but before he did, he kept calling the dog Darla." Lisa froze. That was the same name on the grave she had seen behind the church. Now it wasn't just a coincidence. This dog, Midnight, Darla's dog, or something else entirely, was showing up to say goodbye before anyone else knew it was time. And Lisa wasn't sure if that was comforting or terrifying. Lisa decided not to run the story. Oh, she wrote it, shot B-roll, cut the package. Her editor loved it. "Nice pacing, good visuals, just the right amount of weird." But something about putting it on air felt wrong. Instead, she burned it to a USB drive and filed it away in her desk drawer, like a secret, like a truth that didn't need to be broadcast. She visited Garden Hill one more time. The staff told her Midnight, if that was his name, hadn't been seen since the night he laid by the dying man's bed. No one knew where he'd gone. No security footage showed him entering or leaving the building. He just vanished. Lisa went out to the back lot behind the east wing. The sky was overcast. The grass was cold. The same place she had first seen him. She stood for a moment, expecting nothing, but feeling everything. Then she whispered, "Thank you," and turned to leave. She didn't hear a bark, didn't feel a breeze, but for a moment she could have sworn she caught the faint smell of old fir and pine needles. She never saw midnight again. But in the years that followed, whenever she found herself covering something sad, something too heavy for words, she'd catch herself looking for him, at the corners of crowds, just outside the tape, beyond the silence. And some part of her always believed that if she looked long enough, he'd be there, watching, waiting, saying goodbye.
Cash flow crunch? OnDeck's small business line of credit gives your business immediate access to funds, up to $100,000 right when you need it. Cover seasonal dips, manage payroll, restock inventory, or tackle unexpected expenses without missing a beat. With flexible draws, transparent pricing, and control over repayment, get funded quickly and confidently. Apply today at OnDeck.com. Funds could be available as soon as tomorrow. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank. OnDeck does not lend in North Dakota. All loans and amounts subject to lender approval.
Okay. Yeah, that one got to me.
Knew it would, I warned you.
You didn't warn me it would emotionally body slam me before 6 a.m.
It's a gift.
Was it true?
I mean, I didn't see it myself, but Lisa, the reporter who told me about it, she's not exactly the sentimental type. She made it up. She missed her calling in fiction.
Midnight. That's such a perfect name.
Right?
I swear, if a dog shows up on this train right now, I'm getting off at the next stop, even if it's not mine.
Relax, if a dog shows up here, it probably just wants a transfer.
See you tomorrow, Mason.
Hey, I've got something a little more ridiculous lined up next time. Less tears, more aliens.
Good. I've got to balance out the trauma and maybe bring some tissues. Give my regards to the ghost lady if you see her again.
Only if she promises not to steal my gum.
Doors closing.
Tales from the Blue Line by Auditory Anthology is written and produced by me, Keith Conrad. Your narrator is Darren Marlar. Be sure to check out Darren's award-winning paranormal podcast, Weird Darkness, available at weirddarkness.com and your podcast app of choice. If you have a story you'd like to contribute to this series, you can do so by visiting submissions.soundconceptmedia.com or just follow the link in the show notes. You can also support the show by subscribing to our new Substack at auditoryanthology.substack.com. By becoming a paid subscriber, you'll help keep the stories coming. You'll also get every single episode completely commercial-free, and now you can also vote on which story will feature in upcoming episodes.